classmates! Welcome folks! Welcome viewers! Today is another episode of your infotainment series from the Philippine Guild of Watercolorists. Water and Technicolor will provide you with set of information to better up your skills when it comes to watercolor painting. So, did you watch our past episode last week? That was all about layering watercolor paints. And for today's lesson, we are going to explore more on that particular topic. And this one is, again, set on those who've been new to watercolor painting. Or you might be the one who's been painting for quite some time. Still, you might be benefiting from this lesson and this practice that we are going to do for today. Now, we are going to explore layering of colors and glazing colors one on top of another. Well, does it have an effect if you layer colors differently? Well, we're going to find out in today's exercise. So, why don't you get those paints, brushes, paper, and pour on the water in your bucket so that we will be practicing for today. Let's get started.
Good day and welcome to another lesson in layering and glazing watercolors. For this exercise, we are going to need a separate mixing well where we can use or pour on a color. And as usual, we're going to need a color from Daniel Smith, which is the Hansa Yellow Medium. And we're just going to put a small amount of paint in this separate mixing well. Now, we will also need a second dish or second mixing well for another paint, which is a Daniel Smith tail sign in blue. And we will be pouring about the same amount from the first dish into this separate mixing well. Next, I measured 10 ml of water using a syringe and mixed that with the tail sign in blue and the Hansa Yellow, stirring completely until it is dissolved, and then transferred 3 ml of each color to a separate mixing well and then stirring completely until it is evenly distributed or mixed together. So I had prepared square drawings, and using a sable brush, I'm going to apply a flat wash to one of the squares in the upper left section. I'm going to use the tail sign in colored which we had prepared in the mixture, and then applying it into the square, completely covering this tile or square evenly with paint. Next, using the color that we had prepared, which is the Hansa Yellow, I'm going to apply using a separate sable brush on the right side of the square or square tile until it is evenly painted with the yellow color. After waiting patiently for a few minutes, the colors or the squares would have dried and we can proceed to the next step of this exercise. We are now going to paint the square, which is just below the first one that we had painted, using the same color, which is the Hansa Yellow, from the one that we used to paint the second square. The squares would overlap and this would reveal the colors or the glazing of the colors that will be result of the adjacent colors on top of one another. We are now going to paint the fourth square or the fourth tile with the tail sign in blue, which we had used to paint the first square. Just doing the same thing with our first square, the paints would overlap and cover the second square with the tail sign in blue color. Finally, we are going to paint the fifth square or the fifth box with the mixture of the paints from the two colors that we had prepared, which is the Hansa yellow and the tail sign in blue. And I'm going to apply a flat wash until this one is completely colored with the mixture of the paint. After the paints have completely dried, we can observe that the differences with the application of the paint, the one overlapping a yellow color on top of a blue color and a blue color on top of a yellow color, has a difference. The one casts a warm color and the other one has a cool cast to the other color just below it. And the fifth one, which is a mixture, is entirely different color. Having this knowledge is very important in your composition and the goals that you have in mind painting watercolors. I hope you found this lesson valuable and informative.
Was that good, folks? Did you learn new something today, or something that might have, well, got your interest in layering or glazing watercolors? Well, do take a note of that, because we're going to apply that in a future painting, and that will be on the 4th episode again after this class for this month. Now, you must have been tired for this day or for the next one, and I hope you do paint it along with me with this topic. And you might also have some questions regarding colors, regarding the paints, things in watercolor painting, some technicalities that you might have encountered, or you might be requesting a review of a particular brand. Well, you can count on that, and why don't you just give us a comment in the comment section down below, and probably we're going to answer that in our future episodes. Well, once again, this is your artist, Emmanuel Silva, thanking you for viewing and staying with me for this episode of Water and Technicolor, where we provide you with training and information to better up your skills when it comes to watercolor painting. See you guys in the next episode!